to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everyone, you are listening to episode 76, Living with Uncertainty. Before we get started, just take a quick second, hit subscribe on Apple Podcasts or however you like to listen to this show. I appreciate it. It'll keep you up to date and you will get notified right when you open the app of all my new episodes, which come out every Monday or every other Monday, something like that. So, wow, what a month it has been, you guys, in March. And you know what I'm talking about without me even saying it if you're listening to this in real time. So if you're listening to this later in the archives, it's March of 2020 and we're all living through this coronavirus situation, this global pandemic. And it's been what a month it has been. It certainly has affected everybody, I think, to varying degrees, and it's not over yet. I'd say we're in the thick of it actually right now. So that's what's going on in the world. And I love podcasting because it's a little bit of a time capsule. You know, you kind of remember things that were going on when you go back and listen to old episodes, but that's what's going on right now. And, I'll be honest, I was not planning on doing another episode. This is a bonus episode, truly. But in light of everything going on, I thought I would slip one more message in for the month of March because it's been just a doozy of a month for everybody. And, it seems like everybody out there in the podcasting world is really joining in on the conversation and using this platform to get messages and support and hope out to people. And so I'm kind of pivoting myself and throwing in a last minute episode for the end of March. And I want to talk to you today about what I think is really, really going on with this situation, which is uncertainty, right? That's what we're really grappling with. And I interestingly, I think that this time, a time of crisis, a time of uncertainty, is really when coaches do their best work, right? This is when coaches are really needed. So I thought I would want to pivot and get an episode in and help you through this because I think there's a lot of people out there right now who are being impacted by this and need help coping with this. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about uncertainty in everything, your career, your life, your finances. This is something that's really affecting people on a lot of different levels. So, and there's been a lot of buzzwords thrown around recently. Pivoting is one of them, adapting, and of course, social distancing, which we have, a new term now. So I want to kind of talk about those things and what's really going on from an emotional standpoint. And I'm there with you guys. I mean, certainly it affects me. I just learned a few days ago that my kid's going to be home for the rest of the school year. First it was a few weeks, now it's the rest of the year. She's not going back until the fall. So, as a parent, a working parent, that affects me and affects her as well. So, we're all in this together. I consider myself blessed, really, that I already worked from home. I think it's a minimal impact on me. We're financially secure. My husband works from home as well. So I feel incredibly blessed for our situation. And I know that there are people out there who are in different situations, business owners and people like that who are losing their jobs. So it's a difficult time, without a doubt. So I think that the message I want to bring to you today is how to manage and maybe even thrive in times of uncertainty, which is what this coronavirus situation is really, really about. And I want to get that clear. It's not really about the virus itself. It's not. I think it's about what the uncertain impact that's going to have on us. How long is this going to go on, right? The lack of control. I think that we all feel really restricted right now, like our freedom and our control has been taken away. And that is really what we're struggling with. And so that's what we need to address when we want to manage this mentally and emotionally and in practical steps. I think we need to make that distinction because, the truth is there is a lot of things that we have control over in life. But there's a lot we don't already. And that this virus doesn't change that, right? That's always been the case. And that's going to be my main point today, that where we have control isn't how we react and how this makes us feel and what we make it mean and what we do about it. That's where our power is. And people are definitely responding to this in different ways and making this whole experience mean different things. I think it would be a huge mistake to assume that everyone is making this mean the same thing or responding in the same way. You can choose to see this as a scary and difficult time, or you can choose to see this as something empowering, as an opportunity to grow as a person, as a family, as a citizen. Or you can just go about your business and say, well, it doesn't really affect me that much, right? All of those options are available to you. Some people are exercising social distancing, some are not really, or to various degrees. I know people who are still traveling right now, so perhaps we aren't really as restricted as we think. We're responsible for our own response to this. So I think that is another really important distinction as well that will give you a little bit of your power back, is to acknowledge that you do have control over how you respond to this. 100% you do. And as always in life, I know you've heard this said before, it's not about what's happening to you, it's about how you respond to it. It's a little bit of a cliche, I think, at this point, but it's true. It's said a lot because it's true and will always be true. And, I hear a lot that even before this whole situation with the virus came about, I've always heard it said from people now that, oh, the world is a really dangerous place right now, right? Oh, the world's crazy. That's the word that's thrown around. Oh, our kids are growing up in such a crazy world. It's so dangerous out there. And my reaction is, really? I mean, there's so much to worry about all the time, right? We worry about our kids. We worry about our futures. Now we're worried about the virus. So many things to worry about. But hasn't that always been the case, right? I mean, humanity has been through worse, truly. And not to minimize it or make light of the situation, because it's a heavy subject, right? It's a hard time. But the point is, haven't we been through hard times before? As an individuals, as families, as a human race, we have been through even more difficult times than this. The world, if you want to call the world crazy, I think it's always been a little crazy, right? You can always find something about it that is dangerous or crazy or risky. I mean, we've been through Vietnam, we've been through world wars, 9/11, and there have been other diseases before, right? There was SARS and Ebola, I think, years ago, and others, I'm sure. And if you really want to look at it holistically, go back in time hundreds and hundreds of years ago. Well, the king could just have you beheaded if he didn't like you, right? Look at how our governments used to be, right? If you disagreed with him politically, he'd just probably have you killed, right? No repercussions. He's the king. If you want to look at dangerous times, look at medieval times. Those were some dangerous times, right? Look at what we do have today to help us mitigate this danger. We have lawsuits, we have protests, public outcries. There's a really high degree of visibility to everything with social media right now. And there's no more danger, I honestly believe, than there has ever been. We might be more aware of it. Maybe it's in our faces. 24/7 news scrolling headlines and social media everywhere on every device we own. We might be just more aware of it, but there is, in my opinion, firmly, there is no more danger than there's ever been. And I want to be clear that I'm not trying to make a political point or anything here. It's not about that at all. My thought I want you to ponder is any of this really new? Yes, maybe this particular virus is new, but there's always been something to worry about. And there's always been viruses. There's always been fear, danger, doubt, and uncertainty in life. I really believe there is no more of a threat outside your four walls than there has ever been. We go through life, I think, thinking that we have a lot of certainty, thinking that tomorrow will always come. But how many times and how many people does that not happen to? Really think about that. I think that the certainty that you live with day to day that you think you have is largely an illusion. And I say that not in a negative way. It's honestly actually meant to be empowering. Because that means that this isn't some really, really new, unprecedented thing. Yes, new things are happening with it. Schools are closing, businesses are closing, things like that. There are aspects of this that are new, but is this the emotional response and just difficult things? This is nothing new, you guys. We've been through worse before. And think about it from a positive standpoint of, can you imagine if this was 50, 100, 200 years ago and we got this coronavirus, how many more people would be dying without the medicine that we have today and without social media allowing us to spread this information like wildfire so people can prepare and react to it before it even reaches them? I think that we live with fear or doubt or uncertainty every day. I think it's just the cost of living, quite honestly. And it's kind of the name of the game, right? It's a lot of what makes life worth living, I think, is that there's going to be some risk. There's going to be some danger. So ultimately, though, my belief is that the world is a vast, friendly, divine place. And you are safe, even if you get the virus, right? We're all living out our path, and I don't believe that there is coincidence at all. So we don't have to get into what everyone's personal beliefs are, but I want you to see this from the bigger picture, that the uncertainty that is coming with this is not really that new. And it might even offer an opportunity for you to grow and live a more profound life. I think that our lives are always richer because of the diversity of experiences that we're going to encounter, right? The sickness, the health, the ups, the downs, the wins, the losses. That's what makes life what it is. So my message to you basically is this. You live with uncertainty every day. You're already managing it. You're already getting through it. You know how to do this. I think it's all just been given a really official name now by the media and the government. It's all official. Okay, now you officially need to be afraid of coronavirus, right? That's what's really making this seem so compounded and so scary. But you've already been doing this your whole life. Okay. Now, yes, there is a virus going around. That's a fact. Absolutely. You need to be aware of it. You need to be educated. Okay. But there's so many other risks, car accidents, cancer, things that you're already living with every day. So I don't want you to feel like, oh my God, I don't know how to get through this. Oh my gosh, I've never done this before. We're getting caught up in the fact that this is, quote, unprecedented, right? It kind of is, but it kind of isn't. Okay. I want you to come at it from the angle of, I've been through hard things before. Humanity's been through hard things before, even harder than this. We know how to do this. We know how to get through this. This isn't as foreign as it seems. You have an inner well of strength and intuition that you can draw on. You don't have to start from scratch and figuring out how to get through this. You know how to get through it the same way you have gotten through anything else difficult in your life. It does not matter what the thing is. What this is about is getting through a difficult time, getting through a time of transition and uncertainty. That's all this is about. And you already know how to do that. Okay? I feel like that really changes it, and it really empowers you to go, okay, I can do this. Let me think about how I've gotten through difficult things before, and let me apply that same process, that same attitude, and that same response. So what would that be for you? What have you done in the past to get through something difficult, the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, whatever it might be, a personal illness? And I want you to do that now. Okay? Our challenges always become our blessings and our opportunities. They always do. I want you to know that you're a pro at this. You already can do this. All right? You're going to have to accept it. This is what's happening. I think the more we resist and rally against it, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, the weaker our resolve becomes. But when you accept it, you can move forward. Okay? So I'm saying this in response to a lot of the panic that's going around. Some people are panicking, some people are not. But for those who really do feel a deep inner fear and uneasiness, that is okay. I want you to process those emotions, acknowledge them. You don't have to, not saying sweep over those emotions, but I'm saying I want you to look at this as something that's not really that new and something that you already can get through, and you have gotten through similar things to this. It might be a different situation, but that doesn't matter, okay? This is an excellent opportunity for you to work on managing your mind and your emotions and growing as a person. I put a post out on Facebook a while ago saying, what are some good things that could come out of this virus situation? And I was really pleasantly surprised with the amount of comments and engagement that I got on there. I heard all kinds of good things. More family time. Somebody even said time to reevaluate their career path. Of course, I loved that answer. A lot of people just said slowing down. That's something that I've heard a lot, that this is an opportunity for all of us to slow down a little bit in life, live in the moment for the present day. I think that's very powerful. It's an opportunity to practice adaptability, get creative with our schedules and how we connect with each other, show compassion for our neighbors. These are all opportunities that we have right now. And to me, those things are even more critical when you're a parent. Having a 10-year-old daughter who's impacted by this, I know that I need to set the example for her. I'm not going to panic at all, because kids look to you as the parent for how to react and how they should feel. And that's a large part of why I'm so calm right now. I already truly would have been. I'm not a panicking kind of personality, but I'm very cognizant of that, and I'm happy about that, because she is very, very calm. She's totally going with it. She has no fear of getting the virus. She's adapting to being at home. Sure, she gets bored sometimes, but I'm really taking responsibility for the example that I set for her. Okay. So my challenge to you is to be in a state of acceptance, not resistance. Okay. So let's talk about some other steps here for how you can get through this time. Some practical things to help you manage these fears and reduce your risk of getting the virus and everything. I think the first thing is there's a mental shift that needs to happen, and you need to release the need to be in control. You really cannot control the spread of the virus other than doing all of the practical guidance, staying home when you need to, washing your hands, things like that, right? But mentally, you need to release the need to be in control. There's a lot of freedom and a lot of empowerment that comes from that, okay? So, number one is to find some kind of self-care, meditation, visualization. Of course, I'm a huge, huge fan of those. Those are very much part of my lifestyle anyway, not just in times of crisis. But if you don't have a routine like that to kind of quiet your mind, you need one. Now is the time to start one to manage your stress and not feel like you need to be in control of everything. It is okay to not know exactly what's going to happen 1 or 2 weeks from now. All right. Second, yes, I definitely think that everybody should do all those basic precautions, washing your hands, covering your mouth, taking your vitamins, exercising, hand sanitizer, whatever you need. Of course, I think a lot of us do those things anyway. But, whatever you need to do to feel comfortable with this, that could include social distancing, that's fine. Use your discretion and do what you're comfortable with. I think that it matters just as much what your intention is behind something, just as much as the action itself, right? Because it's absolutely possible for you to stay home, but yet be cautious and calm and not be afraid or panicking. You're just in an abundance of caution. You're following what everyone says to do, but it's not because you're truly, truly scared, right? Those are two different things because some other people are staying home for that reason and they're wearing face masks and they're doing all this stuff, right? And that's your personal choice, but I want you to be focused not just on your actions, but on the intention behind it, the emotional state that you're in, because that's really where your future is going to be created very much. And it has an effect on your immune system as well, your stress levels. So you really, really do need to be cognizant of that and taking care of yourself right now. Okay. And then third, too, I would really, really recommend, I already do this anyway as a lifestyle, but this is the time to be informed. But other than that, get off the news and the social media. You can get connected with those things for certain reasons, but you've got to be careful about the input in your mind right now. And the 24/7 scrolling headlines, the panicking, the complaining, it's very easy to get caught up in all of that. And it's so unnecessary. It's not productive for you. It is not productive at all to get caught up in that. You start kind of taking on other people's problems when you join in all that complaining. And, a lot of people don't realize too, subconsciously, the effect that television and, all that screen time and things like that have on you. You may not think right now that it's having an effect on you, but subconsciously, slowly, that stuff drips in and you would be amazed how much it really can affect you. I would highly recommend that you limit your time watching the news in whatever device or platform that you do it in. Be informed and then turn it off. Okay? Read a book, get exercise, go outside if you can. This is a time to do some of those other things that we don't do because we're so hyper connected all the time, right? Enjoy a little bit of disconnection. All right? And be very thoughtful and intentional about the information that you take in and what you put out as well. All right? So I went straight through it without a commercial break on that one, which is fine. This is, like I said, this is a little bit of a shorter episode, maybe kind of a bonus. I wanted to sneak this message in, and I want you to know that I'm here to help. I'm still taking on clients, as I've always done with virtual and phone meetings, that type of thing. So I'm here. If you need help, whether it's related to your career or not, I do life coaching. If you need help managing your anxiety, your stress, or anything like that with this, or if it's something career related, you've lost your job, anything like that, I'm here for you. You can go to careeruprising.com, request a phone call. I've got a lot of free resources as well. If money is tight right now and you can't afford to work with me, that's okay. Of course, I've got this podcast and about 76 episodes right now that are for free. I have a blog on my website. I also have a Facebook group called Career Uprising. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I post a lot of job tips there. There's a lot of ways that you can get help in your career for free with me right now, and I would invite you to do that, okay? Or another thing you can do is if you have a situation that you want help with, you can email me a question and I will read it on air for you. That could be a little way to get some help in your job search right now for absolutely no cost. So It's Lorraine at careeruprising.com. That's my email. And I hope that you'll reach out and let me help you during this time, okay? And remember, uncertainty is nothing new. You've already been through uncertainty in so many situations in your life. You can do this. This is really nothing new, nothing you don't have the resolve to get through, okay? I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll be back with another episode very soon. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by inflowradio.com. The best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.